Hi, I'm Kenton, and I want to explain how to sublet your apartment, along with some tips to help you along the way. Most of the video will be general enough to apply to any sublet, but I also include specific information for any tenant subletting one of my Kenton Realty Group apartments. To start, you really need to talk to your landlord to see what the process is for your apartment, and see what involvement, if any, your landlord will have in the process. The way I view subletting is there are two types of sublets. One is where there are two or more roommates and at least one roommate is staying, so it is essentially subletting a bedroom. Or everyone is moving out before the end of the lease and you are subletting the whole apartment. If you are subletting a bedroom, the main complication is finding a person that everyone staying in the apartment will approve, and it can be a little complicated with deciding who is responsible for finding the new person. In my opinion, if you're the person leaving, you are responsible for finding the replacement, and you need to remember that your other roommates who are staying will need to sign a new lease with the new person. So be sure to include your roommates in the selection process and get their approval, or they may not approve your new person and refuse to sign the lease, thus forcing you to start over. If you are subletting the whole apartment, the only person you really need to approve the new tenant is the landlord. So you should be sure you clearly understand the landlord's requirements before you start your search. For Kenton Realty Group apartments, there is not a fee to sublet either a room or the whole apartment. If you find a new tenant with a 700 or better credit score, or the new tenant has a cosigner with a 700 or better credit score, then you can be fully released from your lease obligation. If you are bringing in a new roommate, I cannot share anyone's credit score, but I can say whether I would approve the applicant or not. If I wouldn't approve them, the current roommate can still accept responsibility. They are effectively co-signing for the new roommate if they accept. And I would recommend that the new roommate prepay their portion of 1 month's rent upfront. Now that you understand the requirements and expectations, the next step is to start listing your available room or apartment on subletting websites. New websites seem to sprout up all the time, so I recommend doing a Google search and list your ad on as many as possible. If your apartment is near a school, be sure to see if there is a school website. When preparing your ad, you might want to start by asking your landlord for a copy of the description and pictures they use. I personally am happy to share that information. Here are a few of the free websites I would recommend that you list the sublet on: sublet.com, flip.lease, trulia.com, craigslist.com, and similar websites. You should also post it to your social media accounts, including the marketplace on Facebook. If you are subletting the entire apartment, your landlord may be willing to list it as well. Personally, I am happy to list the apartment for my tenants, and then I simply forward any leads to them to arrange a showing for the apartment. Remember, you are trying to be relieved of your lease obligation, so your landlord doesn't have any financial incentive to help you. But I personally prefer to help my tenants with the process so I can ensure a smooth transition with the new tenants. Once you find a roommate that everyone approves or a new tenant to sublet the entire apartment, you'll need them to apply. For my apartments, there is an application link and an application video fully describing the process on my website. For Kenton Realty Group apartments, there is a $50 application fee per person, which is payable by credit card when you apply. Other than the application fee, there are not any other fees to sublet. However, since it is a sublet, I also do not clean the unit, coordinate the move out or move in, or getting the keys to the new tenant. This is all the current tenant's responsibility. After receiving the application and hopefully approving the new tenant, I will prepare a lease for signature online with DocHub. The new lease would only be signed by the people who will be staying in the apartment and their co-signers if applicable. After everyone has signed, the new person will need to send in their portion of the first month's rent before they receive keys and can move in. I won't countersign the lease until I receive their payment. Once I receive payment, I'll countersign the lease and send a fully executed lease to everyone who signed and set everyone up on Tenant Cloud, which is the online property management website I use. If you are a landlord watching this, I highly recommend Tenant Cloud. See the link below and my other video on how I list my apartments for rent. At this point, you will need to coordinate moving out, moving the new person or persons in, exchanging keys, being sure that whoever has the utilities in their name is staying, or that you set up the utilities in the name of someone who is staying. For Kenton Realty Group properties, this would include electric, gas, and cable and internet. And the tenant should watch the tenant welcome video if they haven't already. I hope this video explained what you should expect when you sublet a room or your apartment and help you avoid any missteps in the process. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking the video, and leaving me a comment. Thank you.